this up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Hamilton, the Son of Celluloid, still here at Days of the Dead, and I'm talking to the legendary Bill Moseley. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm well. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Now, actually, the first thing I ever saw you in before I ever saw any of your horror stuff was White Fang. I dug that movie when I was a kid. Do you like doing the kids stuff, and does your status as a horror icon ever kind of get in the way of that, and people don't want you to do kids stuff?
It might. But I don't know. I'm not in on those casting sessions where a producer is sitting there going, no, we don't want him in there. He's a psycho. I hope that isn't happening, by the way. But no, it's fun. I'll do anything.
I'm currently doing a thing on my blog where I'm going and doing a episode-by-episode review of Freddy's Nightmares. So I was wondering if you could give me any remembrances you have of being in the Black Tickets episode.
Wow. I do remember that. I remember working with Don Sparks. And we played Buzz and Todd, who were basically named after the Route 66 characters, an old TV series. I do remember that I was the tow truck driver. Mm-hmm. I remember that our young victims included Brad Pitt. Yep. And I do remember that I got to the set at night, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock, and I didn't end up working until maybe 3 or 4 in the morning. And I was a young actor at the time, so I actually was trying to stay awake, and I was drinking lots of coffee and eating a lot of M&Ms. And finally, by the time that we actually did shoots, I was exhausted and the coffee didn't work anymore. And then of course, that's when they call you. And so I showed up and I started saying some lines, and the director, who was, I think, Eastern European maybe, I remember him just looking at me with terror in his eyes and saying, "Bill, you have lost your character." I was like, and I was so brain dead, I didn't remember what my character was, really. So, I mean, he was right. Somehow it got done, and, from the finished product, you'd never know that I'd lost my character because of the caffeine. I'd reached the end of the road, or as Shel Silverstein says, where the sidewalk ends. Yeah. So, but that's what I remember about it. I remember that the check cleared. So, and I didn't get hurt. So,
one of the roles you're, of course, best known for is Chop Top. All those great lines in that movie. How much of that was ad-libbed, and how much of it was on the page?
It was about 50-50. EXIT was an ad-lib. Lick My Plate, You Dog Dick was an ad-lib. A lot of the, when I was beating LG in the head with a claw hammer, a lot of that was ad-lib. So, and I was very fortunate because Tobe Hooper loved what I was doing with Chop Top. And so he just was happy whenever I said anything. And it was very encouraging. And, I just have I'm good at improvising simply because I like to, I'm in the moment. Right. And if you're in the moment, then anything you say or think is organic. Yeah. And so that helps sometimes. I know in Night of the Living Dead, the remake that Tom Savini directed, I made up, "They're horny, Barbara. They've been dead a long time."
That's actually my favorite remake that's ever been made.
Yep. So, every once in a while it works, and then, the director likes it, the producers like it, the writer even likes it, and it stays in the movie. So,
another role you're, of course, famous for is Otis, Firefly. You've said that playing that role, particularly in the Driftwood.
Yeah.
Now, you've said playing that role kind of made you go some dark places in your mind you weren't entirely comfortable with. Have any of your other roles ever taken you to that place?
Not to that extent. Of course, we're referring to the scene in the Kahiki Palms motel room, the scene I have with Priscilla Barnes, who was very courageous and really made that scene work in terms of being willing and able to go to that same dark place and then find the light there. Yeah. It was very dark. It was a rape scene, basically. But then, Priscilla got excited about it, or her character did. And, it ended up kind of changing and being something strange and wonderful and sexy, not just, one-sided. and it was it was a very exciting scene. But for the people that that are acting, and you have to go to a place of raping somebody in front of their husband in a little motel room with a pistol, nonetheless.
Just another day on the job.
If that doesn't make you uncomfortable, then you should probably go into therapy. Yeah.
Now, who do you think would win in a no weapons, fist to fist, knockdown, drag out fight? Otis or Chop Top?
I think Chop Top would. Yeah.
Crazy goes over sadistic.
Yeah, I think so, because I think Chop Top could rip the plate out of his head and slit Otis's throat.
Now, you, of course, one of the hardest working men in the horror business. You've always got a ton of projects going on. What do you think is something in your filmography, like an undiscovered gem that doesn't get the same attention like Chainsaw or, Devil's Rejects or something like that gets? What's one that you wish more people had paid attention to that may have slipped through the cracks?
I think Dead Air. Dead Air is a good example of that. Directed by Corbin Burnson. It came out a couple years ago. I play a kind of a shock jock radio talk show host, and there just happens to be a zombie outbreak or a zombie-like creature outbreak, and I thought that was really good. I mean, I worked really hard on it. Had Patty Tallman in it, who's my sister Barbara from Night of the Living Dead, and she was also with me in Army of Darkness, and so we've worked together a bunch of times, and she was great in it. Plays my ex-wife, and so I had a great time doing it, and I think it was a pretty cool movie, all things considered.
Really cool. I met her at a con in Atlanta a while back. Do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to make us aware of?
Yes, I just finished a movie in Australia with Tara Reid, who's just up the row here, called Charlie's Farm, and that should be coming out sometime. I think they're wailing away on it, so maybe even as early as September.
That's the one with Nathan Jones, right?
Yep. Yes, he is huge, and I play his dad, so whatever. And then the other thing is a movie I did with Kane Hodder a couple of years ago, which has kind of taken a long time to come to light. Still hasn't come out yet, but apparently any day now, and that is a movie called Old 37. And Kane and I play brothers, and we drive around in an old beat-up ambulance, Old 37. And we show up, we listen to the police scanner and show up at accident sites before the real ambulance. Now, I can't tell you what we do, but suffice it to say there is a wood chipper in the back of the Old 37, so we were laughing, saying that was our version of Obamacare.
And it's probably more efficient, more likely.
Exactly, yeah. Hey,
man, we'll definitely be looking out for those.
Copay when you got a wood chipper, there's no copay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we will be looking out for those. Thank you so much for talking to me.
My pleasure.
And keep an eye here on Son of Celluloid for more interviews from Days of the Dead.